More than 58,000 lives lost and another 150,000 wounded. Today, the names of those who died in combat in the Vietnam War are remembered for the sacrifice for their country. But behind every name, there's a story and a face. And now, an effort to make sure that the faces of all of Hawaii's fallen heroes from the Vietnam War are remembered has gotten new backing. And joining us this morning to talk about the effort are Honolulu Mayor Peter Carlisle, Kauai County Mayor Bernard Carvalho, and Billy Gabriel, a veterans advocate. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
Good to see all of you here.
Bright and early.
It's a nice little community.
Community.
So tell us a little bit about how you guys got involved and why this is so important to you.
Frankly, Billy Gabriel has been a longtime friend, and she is passionate about making sure that all of the Vietnam veterans are remembered, and particularly in Washington, D.C., and she'll explain that to you. But she came in, she twisted my arm, she begged, she pleaded. By the time I just said, okay, I give up, I can't keep on going, and I was convinced that this is an absolutely wonderful project. It's to make sure that we have something that all of these veterans who gave the ultimate sacrifice can be remembered by, and being placed in a position of education in Washington, D.C.
And Mayor, what are you asking the people?
And same here. I mean, we're looking at, of course, the neighboring islands, a statewide effort, and working closely with Billy and making sure and assuring that it's a grassroots effort as well, that we get as much of the photos in so we can get it to Washington, D.C. and tie in that picture or that photo to the name. And this true grassroots effort, I'm saying, is what we're looking at.
And there are hundreds of Vietnam vets who died in Vietnam, or soldiers serving in Vietnam who died. We want to remember them, and so we're asking them to bring these photos. Billy Gabriel, your brother was a soldier who died in the Vietnam War. Tell me a little bit about your personal connection and what this means to you.
Well, like you said, my brother James, he was the first Native Hawaiian and the first Green Beret to be killed in Vietnam. That was back in 1962. Since then, I was only 10 years old when that happened. And of course, at that age, you don't understand what the war is all about. But since then, learning about it, I've become very, very passionate about making sure that none of our Vietnam vets are forgotten.
And how many photos have you guys collected so far?
Well, to date, we have 106 photos out of 276. So I'm really excited about, where we are, the progress.
And what else can be done? I mean, you guys are using other methods like Facebook. How are you guys bringing that message out to everyone?
Well, we want to encourage your viewers to not just send in a photo, but if they recognize a name, then call Hawaii Call for Photos and tell me what school they went to, did they play sports with them, were they in the same neighborhood, anything, any leads, and we'll take it from there.
And there was also a way that you guys recently put out an ad in the Honolulu Star-Advertiser, and that was also successful too, right?
Correct, all that is. And this, we're asking people to be a detective for a day, and don't just follow any leads you have. Don't assume that the family has gotten in touch with us. Don't assume anything. And if you know any information about a classmate who know the person, somebody, give it to her. She'll follow you around. She'll stalk you all over the island. She'll do everything that she possibly can to chase somebody down, and does very, very well at it.
And Mayor Carlisle, since we do have you here, there's been a lot of news about the rail system, that's the rail contracts and various companies talking about rails. There's been a war of words between some of the rail companies, some of the bidders. What's the city's reaction to all of this? What kind of problems?
Everything's on course. We're going to keep a steady hand, and we're not going to let all of this language that we've heard since the beginning of the project to get in its way in any shape, fashion, or form. Simple and straightforward.
Mayor Carlisle, Bernard Carvalho, thank you for joining us here this morning, as well as Billy Gabriel. Thank you so much. And again, to submit pictures or find out anything about the call for photos, you could head over to the As Seen On section of KITV.com. The time now is 6:49. We'll be right back.